and welcome back to my channel. Today's another Marketing Monday video. I know it has been so long. So sorry on the delay on these videos, guys. It has just been one of those times where I have content block, where I'm literally just so lost on what to post for you guys and what you guys want to see and stuff that I am allowed to post. So with that being said, today's video is going to be tips on preparing for college if you're going to school for marketing or communications degree. I have gotten this a lot recently. I've gotten so many questions on what the best marketing schools are, best classes to take, what you can actually do with your degree if you're going into marketing or communications, and I'm going to answer all those questions for you guys in this video, so be sure to stay tuned for that. And if you guys have not subscribed to my channel yet and you guys like marketing tips, lifestyle vlogs, all that sorts of stuff, then don't forget to subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and don't forget to like and comment down below if there's anything that I didn't answer in this video that you would like to know about, or any video suggestions you would like to see. Don't forget to comment down below. I will definitely respond because I love chatting with you guys. So let's jump into this video and get started. Okay, so like I said, one of the top requested, most asked for questions for me to answer is, what marketing school should I go to if I want to pursue marketing, or something along those lines? And I've done some research for you guys, and I found the top 5 best marketing schools in the US and some of the pros and cons of each one. So I didn't memorize all this, so I'm gonna be reading them off in my notes section, and we're gonna be starting with number 5. So the 5th best marketing school is the University of Indiana, Bloomington. Apparently there's multiple locations, so this is the one in Bloomington. The tuition is $11,221 if you are in state. Now if you're out of state, that's gonna jump to $37,600 per year. So it can get real pricey if you're looking at these schools and you're not part of that state. Some of them are private schools, however, so it won't really matter whether you're in state, out of state, you're gonna be paying the same tuition. And it's got a higher acceptance rate than the other marketing schools that I've seen while doing my research. This one has got a 78% acceptance rate. You know, you have a good chance of getting in if you meet all the criteria. And then they offer a blend of analytics and research, so that's what makes this marketing school one of the top 5 marketing schools in the US. Moving on to number 4, we have the University of Texas in Austin, Texas. So this one is $11,106 for the tuition if you are in state. So if you live in Texas, that's the in-state tuition you're gonna be paying. However, if you are out of state for this school, it now jumps to $39,322 if you're out of state. So once again, you see that big price jump if you're out of state. That's just how it is, but at least it's a little bit better if you are in state, not as bad. This one, however, has an acceptance rate of 32%. So we went from 78% acceptance rate to 32%. That is a big jump. As we're moving closer to the number 1 school, we are going to notice that the acceptance rates get a lot smaller. So you really have to fight for that competition right there. You have to make sure that your SAT scores are great, your ACT scores are good, you know, all the criteria that they're asking for, you're reaching above and beyond if you want to be able to get into these schools, or you have something that just really makes you stand out. Because sometimes it's honestly not even about what you know, it's like how you're involved, your motivation, your drive to want to be in those schools. That's really gonna be able to show if they offer like an essay that you can write about those things. So make sure to keep that in mind. It's not all about SAT, ACT scores. And their claim to fame at this school is that they offer a lot of hands-on and real world situations. So if you're a hands-on learner and that's just, you know, the way that you learn, that's probably gonna be your best fit if you go to the University of Texas in Austin. All right, moving on to number 3. Now this one I actually did know about. So number 3 is New York University, NYU. I'm pretty sure if you go to NYU for anything, you're gonna get a great education. My dad went to school for film there, and you know, one of the best film programs in the country. So this is where we start to get into more expensive tuition. NYU is a private school, so there is no in-state versus out-of-state tuition. Everybody pays one price. That price that you're going to be paying is really expensive, guys. It is $54,880 per year. That's insane. I don't know how people afford this. I don't know, but I mean, clearly worth it. Every time I speak to someone who's gone to NYU, or you know, my dad absolutely loved it, and it definitely has its perks. So if you have the ability to do that, if you can get some loans, and that is your true desire to be able to go to this school, then by all means, go for it. So here we have a 16% acceptance rate. And when I'm talking about acceptance rate, I'm talking about going into the specific marketing school. So depending on which college you go to, you're either gonna start off in that specific marketing school, or it's going to be like first 2 years of gen eds, and then you get that out of the way, then you go into your specific marketing school. So it may be easier to apply to these schools if you don't have a degree claimed, if you're just like going in for your first 2 years as gen ed, and then after those first two years, you make the decision. That's when you're gonna have to think about the acceptance rates, because that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about these percentages. So their claim to fame here at NYU is that they really like to hone in on what specifically you want to study and what you want to use your degree for. So if you want to go specifically into brand awareness, then they're going to give you classes that are specifically for that, that will help you get the job that you need or want to get once you graduate, without really, you know, having to look around and get experience beforehand, because you already have so much experience just from going to college here. So that's really, really great that they incorporate that, and they also include real world hands-on sort of studies and classes when you go here to NYU. All right, moving on to school number 2. We have now moved on to the second best school in the United States for marketing, and that is University of Pennsylvania. So University of Pennsylvania is, once again, another private school, so you don't have that in-state versus out-of-state tuition. The tuition that we are looking at here is $60,042 per year, roughly. And their acceptance rate is also very, very low, but that just means awesome if you get in, like, you're great. But the acceptance rate here is 8%. So once again, you could go into this school unclaimed degree, and you can just go in for your gen eds, and then once you really know that you want to go into marketing and it's time to choose a degree, choose a school that you want to go into specifically, then that acceptance rate is going to be the 8% that you're going to try to be fighting against other students, or not fighting, but competing against other students to get into that marketing school there. What makes this school so unique is that their student to teacher ratio is very, very low. You're not gonna be trying to learn a subject with 300 other people in your class. You know, it's not gonna be those huge study hall lectures that you raise your hand and it gets lost in the sea of heads where you can't even see the person. They have a 6-to-1 student-teacher ratio, which means there's about 6 students to a class and 1 professor. So you are really maximizing that one-to-one experience, even though it's not just you and the professor, but you are a lot more likely to get that one-to-one help if that's what, you know, you crave, that's a learning experience that you like, and you'll definitely be able to get more time from your professors if you need that extra help. So that's something that's really, really special to the school, and you know, just makes them one of the best. And time for number 1. School number 1 for all of the schools in the US, from the research I've done, that is the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. So this is like the other schools that I've been talking about, University of Indiana, University of Texas. They have schools in different locations, but the one that I'm talking about specifically is the one in Ann Arbor. So this school is actually a public school. I'm surprised, I just realized that. So there is no just one set price for tuition, whether you're in state or out of state. So luckily for anybody who is currently residing in the state of Michigan, you guys get to have tuition of $15,948, much, much less than what you pay out of state, which would be about $52,266. So, and all these are rough estimates, guys. It really depends, you know, how much what classes specifically you're taking, the cost of your books, whether you're gonna be staying in a dorm, like on campus, or if you're gonna be doing some other sort of housing. So it really all depends. It's not just like dead on, like this is how much you're gonna pay, but it's just a rough estimate. So you guys kind of get an idea of what it's like to pay for tuition at these schools. And luckily here, the acceptance rate for the marketing school is 23%. So you have a higher chance, rather than University of Pennsylvania, which was 8%, you have a higher chance of getting in with that 23%. Oh, all right. Goodness, that was a lot of information to process. I know you guys probably weren't watching this video expecting me to go through all this like numbers and stuff like that. You're like, okay, tell me like the good stuff, tell me the nitty gritty. With that being said, all these schools are great, you know. For anybody who is wondering what the best school is, well, there you go. I gave you the countdown. Those are the top 5, so you can pick and choose whichever one works the best for you. But speaking from personal experience, I feel that it really isn't about what school you go to. I mean, I went to Florida Gulf Coast University, which is a smaller school. They don't specialize in marketing. They have a marketing program just as most universities do. And it's very nice. It was clearly did a great job. But I feel like it's more about what you put into it rather than what school you're going to, unless you're gonna be trying to get a job straight at Google or, you know, Amazon, like one of those huge companies, and you need all those accreditations and stuff like that. For marketing specifically, I really don't feel like that it's a type of job that they really look for what school you went to. Most of my coworkers got their degrees from my college, from the college I went to. And funny enough, we all got degrees in communications with a concentration in PR. So that just goes to show you don't have to get a marketing degree to go into marketing. I'm sure you could also get an entrepreneurship degree. You can get any sort of business degree, and you can also get a communications degree. I decided to go for the communications route because I was not great at statistics and I was not great at calculus. I could not pass those classes to save my life. I went to my counselor and I was like, listen, I'm not passing these classes. I don't care how many times I had to redo them. I just cannot. That is not the way my brain thinks. I'm not a huge numbers person. And that's basically what those 2 courses are about. And that was like, if you don't pass these classes, you can't move forward in the marketing degree. And it was only gonna get harder after that. So I told him, help me out here. I still am very interested in the field, but I need help. This is just not gonna work out. So what he recommended was that I went into communications, and I found that I actually loved it even more. So, you know, always explore your options. If you still want to go into the marketing field, but you don't feel like the classes and courses are really your thing, go to your counselors and see what they can do for you. They may open your eyes to a whole new degree and field that you never would have thought of going into before. So definitely go to your counselors. They're there to help, and they're the sweetest people ever. All right, so for my second point of this video, a lot of people also ask me when it comes to like college videos is what classes should I be taking? You know, there's so many options of what you can take and what you should specify in. And I always revert back to my professional writing class. That is one of the most useful classes that I think I could have ever taken in college, no matter what my field would have been in. I mean, specifically for marketing, because you're always writing emails and, you know, always writing to people inside and outside of your company. So my professional writing class really prepared me for how to address these people, you know, the proper grammar, you know, addressing someone formally who you don't know. That class was just so helpful overall, and that is something that I still use to this day. Now, when you want to talk about marketing specific classes, those classes that I would recommend are classes like learning basic HTML. I never thought I would have said this when I first graduated college, but now being in my job for a longer period of time that I have been, now almost 2 years, I've learned that knowing basic HTML as a marketing associate is extremely helpful and is most of the time even expected, even for people who are just starting out in the field. So I know people who are hiring like new employees, that's one of the requirements that they look for. And I found it surprising because nowhere, any of my colleagues, nor did I ever have to go through an HTML, coding class. And it sounds scary, trust me, like I'm like coding, that sounds like computer people, that's not my field. That's not what I wanna do. But it's very simple. Once you learn the basics of it, it's not too techy. Honestly, when you're working on an email that you're gonna send off to a certain group of people, you're gonna have to be spot checking that. Yes, graphic designers will be there and they will be the main people handling that, but most of the time, marketing associates are also expected to spot check and sort of tweak these emails. I feel like now people who go into marketing are expected to be like more of a one-man show. They're expected to know a lot more than they used to have to know maybe 5-10 years ago. So that's one class that I would definitely recommend. If your school offers that, definitely take it up. Even if it's an elective, it may not be the most fun, but it's definitely gonna be super useful. My next class that I would recommend taking, because I went for the PR route, I will be recommending this class to you guys, but you can take it whether you're in PR or not. It is the PR strategies class. It's very similar to the marketing strategies class because I took both of them. I took marketing strategies, I took PR strategies. And I felt like I could connect more to the PR one because PR is more about how your audience and the people around your company perceive your company. And whether you want to recover from some sort of crisis, you're gonna call in your PR team for that. And they're gonna find ways to fix that or make the audience see you in a different light. As opposed to marketing, I feel like you're just marketing a product or you're marketing a service. PR, I feel like, puts you on a more personable level with your audience and your customers. So sometimes I feel like they're interchangeable, but a lot of the times there is a big divide and they serve two separate purposes. But I think having that PR background lets you be able to connect with your audience. And that's one of the biggest things that they focus on is knowing who your audience is and how to reach them. There's so much research that goes into this. And truly that is what one of the biggest components of marketing is, just how do we get to these people and how do we get them to buy this product? If you have that background knowledge on how to connect to your audience, then you're gonna be able to really target them and get them to buy your product and whatever you're doing, whatever your company's doing. So PR strategies / marketing strategies is a class that I definitely recommend. Coming to my last point, it is what kind of jobs can you get with your marketing degree or a PR degree? And there are so many options of what you can do with your marketing degree. People usually, I bet, are confused when they think about a marketing job. Like, yes, you try to sell things, but you're not a salesperson, so you're really not trying to sell things. It's more of a psychological game. So there's so many different fields and ways that you can be in marketing other than just trying to sell things. So there is a promotional aspect to marketing. That's the type of job that you can get. There's copywriting. Every copy that you see, even something as little as like if you go onto a website and there's an ad on the website and there's some text written at the bottom of the ad, that's a copy team that writes that. They get to decide what's gonna be able to convey their message the best. So that's a copy team. There are content teams. You could also go into social media. A lot of people is very prevalent now in this day and age to be a social media specialist. And it seems a lot easier than it actually is, because you think of social media, yes, we're on it all the time, but social media isn't just posting something and seeing how many likes it gets. It's finding your target audience, seeing if you put more money on a sponsored post in a certain area than another, seeing how that performs. And there's so many different platforms that you could be handling depending on the company. So that's also a type of route that you could take with your marketing degree. And then another job that you could also get is an SEO specialist, which is search engine optimization specialist. And what those people do is that they put in keywords whether it be on Google, in the internal search box, to see what populates and gets the best results for what you want to be populating. So if you have a hardware company, you're marketing for a hardware company, you have to put in those keywords and find out what's driving these people to click. So that's what SEO specialists do. You can definitely, you know, do some more research and find out if that's the right fit for you. There's such a huge range of things that you can do in marketing. You're not just doing one single thing. Marketing can be so many different things. So I hope I gave you guys a nice little insight of what you can do with your marketing degree, what to do for school, and where to go to for college, you know, whether it be the best school in the US or if it be a school that is right in your hometown. I think anything's achievable as long as you put your mind to it, as cliche as that sounds, but I truly do believe in that. And you know, if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe and like. I do post every Monday, or at least I try to. And if you guys have any video suggestions, go ahead and leave them in the comments down below, because still struggling with that content writer's block sort of thing. So I will see you guys next Monday. Hope you guys have a great week. Bye guys.